What's up, YouTube? Roachsaurus back with another react video. Today we're taking another look at Starfield. Apparently Starfield revealed sad news. What is that news? Let's find out. Let's go!
All right, guys, Wes here. Welcome back to the channel. And today we've got some Starfield news and updates to talk about. Todd Howard just shared some details regarding the PC version of the game that's got the community talking. There's actually been quite a few concerns raised by Digital Foundry that I'm going to go over. As you guys know, Starfield only has 4 romance options, which has fans kind of upset about that fact. Well, according to a AAA developer from the Dragon Age series, this is actually a good thing.
I mean, only if you're a freaking scrub that romanticizes in video games and not real life. I mean, honestly, I don't give a fuck about the romance. I'd rather just focus on the core gameplay and the mechanics. And to me, the content matters, right? Not this little mechanic in the game that really doesn't mean crap.
Thing rather than a negative.
I mean, go play Sims 4 if you want romance.
But more on that in just a bit. And finally, we're going to go over some of my theories regarding how the game starts and so much more. So check the video chapters and let's go ahead and get started. So first and foremost, let's go ahead and go over the big AMD news for Starfield that has the community kind of freaking out. And this is coming from Todd Howard himself. So in the video, Todd says, "We are so excited for our new partnership with AMD on Starfield. It is the most ambitious game we've ever made. We've built all new technology for it with the Creation Engine 2 and working with AMD on the Creation Engine 2 to make that look really great and run great, and it has been really special." He said, "We have AMD engineers in our code base working on FSR2 image processing and upscaling, and it looks incredible." Todd said that you're going to get the benefits of that obviously on your PC, but also on Xbox. "We're super excited and can't wait to show you more, so thanks for having me."
I can't wait to play it, man.
Representative responded, "I cannot wait to play this game and explore over 1,000 players myself. We are humbled and honored to partner with Todd and Bethesda to bring the best of Starfield for everyone." So what does that mean for those of you that play PC? If you've got an NVIDIA card, then you might have heard of the term DLSS, or deep learning super sampling, which is essentially AI upscaling with the goal of boosting performance. So essentially what happens is the GPU outputs a certain resolution, and then from there the AI cores of the NVIDIA GPU then upscales the image to make it look better without having to use as many resources. DLSS is the industry standard in terms of AI upscaling. It's the GOAT, at least at this point. Maybe AMD was able to make some stuff happen for Starfield, and the FSR2 implementation is at least close to what DLSS could provide. It's all really hard to say, but the fact that AMD paid for exclusivity is unfortunate, especially for how many people have an AMD GPU. It's sounding like you're not going to be able to use DLSS, and it's just not going to be supported for Starfield. And that is the same with XeSS, which is the Intel Arc version of their AI upscaling. So as of right now, all we know at this point is Starfield will be using AMD's FSR2 on PC and Xbox, and it's designed for multi-threaded chips. This, of course, has a lot of people that are
good thing I've got multi-threaded chip
who are looking forward to Starfield that are a bit concerned. I mean, there's no denying that FSR2 is not even close as good as DLSS, and the fact that Starfield will not include DLSS is a definite cause for concern, because essentially it's just limiting the options of PC gamers. So let's all just hope that Starfield is an optimized game on PC, because if they decided to just remove DLSS because of this partnership with AMD and the game isn't optimized at launch on PC, then I could see a absolute disaster happening. So let's all just hope that Starfield is in tip-top shape on the PC and AMD FSR's implementation is actually really good. At this point, there's no one.
I mean, yeah, let's hope. I mean, that kind of sucks though, but I have a feeling with as much love that Todd Howard wants to put into this game, that they're not going to let us down with it, honestly, because that would be saying a lot about himself and the company, right?
100% confirmation that AMD's exclusivity means there's not going to be DLSS, but let's be honest, I just don't see that happening. Expect this game to only have FSR2, and then hope that some mod developer will add DLSS and XeSS in a future mod. It's also worth mentioning that this game will likely
finish the game for us.
So if you're turning on FSR or CAS, that shouldn't really affect the CPU usage. But I'll stop talking out my hoo-ha and let the Digital Foundry guys do that themselves. Next up, let's talk about romance options in Starfield. As you guys know, Todd Howard recently confirmed that only 4 romanceable companions will be present in the game. This was during the Kinda Funny interview with Todd Howard. So let's go and set that stage really quick. The question was asked, are the 4 constellation companions the only ones that can be romanced? To which Todd said the 4 main constellation ones are the ones that support full quest lines for them and romance. So right now, the only companions we know that can be romanced are Sam Coe and Sarah Morgan. But what's interesting is they said that those are the 4 main constellation companions that have a full quest line line that can be romanced. This leads me to believe that there's other companions in the game that can be romanced. They just don't support the full quest line like the 4 main constellation ones. So Todd's statements on the Kinda Funny podcast don't really rule out other romance options, which I think is a good thing. Now this leads us to a statement by a former Dragon Age writer who had a similar take. He quote tweeted a PC.
I mean, again, personally, I don't give a fuck about the romance part of things. Could it lead to more awesome quests and make the player feel more immersive? Absolutely. But I don't think it's even a fraction of what this game has to offer.
Gamer article that said 1,000 planets, 4 romance options, to which he said this, and I quote, "I'd say this is a good thing and hopefully speaks of a quality over quantity mindset, at least on the narrative side, unless a meaningful romance arc is the kind of thing that one imagines an AI could whip up, in which case you." He then said that he wouldn't really call previous Bethesda game romances actual romances, and then said that the skepticism probably comes from the promises of endless content, but also meaningful content, which things haven't really been compatible to date. I guess we'll see. So if you're worried about romance options in Starfield, just know that there's gonna be some wild stuff that happens. I mean, just look at the ESRB rating. In one of the quotes, it says, "I'm all for getting a little wild, but next time let's try it without the jetpacks." Next up, let's talk about some news regarding the physical edition versus the digital. There's been a lot of controversy on whether or not the standard edition of the game will have a disc. There's been a ton of misinformation that I'd like to just address for you guys, especially if you're looking to get a physical copy of Starfield. So will Starfield contain a physical copy?
I'm not gonna lie, like that collector's edition looks sick as fuck. Like you get like a patch or a badge and you get like this awesome looking watch with it. And what is that in the background? It kind of looks like a belt or something.
Be in a disc form. Yes, the physical copy will be there on the standard edition of the game. But if you're like me and you purchase the Constellation edition, the collector's edition that comes with the cool watch, that edition of the game will not have a physical copy. It's not going to have a disc at all. It will have a credit stick with a
maybe it was a different band for the watch. I don't know.
That's just honestly preferred. I play the game digitally anyway, so I really have no intentions or reason to buy a physical copy, but I know a ton of you who are collectors who plan on buying the game.
That's pretty
sick. If you want a disc, just pick up the standard edition and it will come with one. Next up, I want to talk about some news regarding loading screens. As you guys know, with every Bethesda game, it's kind of been a meme, especially with Skyrim. The BGS titles just have loading screens. That's just a thing that they have, and it's not going to go away with Starfield. However, with the game requiring an SSD, rather than having a loading screen at every single entrance to a new area, there will be different loading points, but buildings will have a loading screen. Now, this Reddit
and hopefully fast travel
on Twitter, and I was actually linked to it, and it says PSA there will be loading points but few loading screens. The Reddit user Afonsolage says there will be loading points but few loading screens. So when they say loading points, they mean the ship landing on a planet, ship taking off from a planet, the ship warping to another solar system, attaching to another ship like the docking, sitting in the pilot seat, standing up from the pilot seat so that you could walk around your ship, and those are going to be the loading points. But if you look at this part of the direct right here, you see the doors open of the deserted robotics lab, and as the door was opening, that is essentially another loading point to get into the building.
Bro, it's like the more gameplay I see of this game, the more it just makes me want to freaking play it. I swear, it just looks incredible, right?
This is one of the reasons I'm guessing why they require an SSD. So
right, like so much to explore and do.
The actual loading points won't be noticeable. I'm guessing for some aspects of the game, there will be a specific loading screen, or it'll be like Hogwarts Legacy, where whenever you open up some doors, they have.
I guarantee I'll probably be playing this game for at least a solid month.
The door, it just took a second to load, render everything in, and then the door just opened. One of the core elements of Starfield is their use of procedural generation, from the planets to the biomes to creatures and more. Now, this of course has sparked debate amongst the community, which I won't get into. I did that in my last video, but I'd like to showcase these two images of the procedural generation in action. As you guys can see, the area that the player is at, or the planet, looks similar, but each shot has different details. If you look at the left image, you can see blue crystals that are coming up from the ground, and on the other shot, it's a structure. Now, this all leads me to the aspect of the game that I'm most curious about right now, and that is, where does our journey begin in Starfield? Will the game start us off in the same location for everyone, or will we all start in a random location?
That's a good question. Kind of like Cyberpunk, where you chose like what kind of class you were basically, and it started you off differently depending on the class. But ultimately, it had the same exact storyline. Like it, after that initial intro, It kind of led down the same path in Cyberpunk, right? So I wonder if it'll be the same with Starfield.
That looks completely different for everybody. Now, if you remember back from the very first gameplay demonstration, one would assume that we would start on Crete or possibly even the planet of Jemison in the city of New Atlantis. But the more I think about it, the more I think everybody's journey will start differently. I think it's very possible that when we all boot up the game, we all start in a system in the proximity of Alpha Centauri, but not in the system. But it also could be that depending on what career path we choose in Starfield will be the determining factor of where we start in the game. Right now, the game has 16 backgrounds, from Beast Hunter to Bouncer to Cyber Runner to even a Professor. It's possible that whatever character background we choose is where we start in the game. Now, it is possible and very likely that we start on New Atlantis, but I just don't think it will be nearly as impactful as it would be if we did our first jump to Alpha Centauri, got all of our cargo scanned, and then got to land on New Atlantis for the very first time. That would mean the decisions that we made for our character would affect the game almost immediately.
Alpha Centauri, it sounds like Alpha Centauri, it sounds like a freaking planet, like off of a movie that I've watched. Where does that sound so? Why does that sound so familiar? Anyways, back to the video.
For this game, it would give you a reason to start off on a different career path. Now, one of the biggest mods from games like Skyrim and the Fallout series is the alternative start mods. So the possibility of Starfield including an alternative start in the game from the get-go is something I never thought would be a possibility, but it's a welcomed one. Now, with there being just about 2 months left until Starfield's official release date of September 6th, some questions have been raised on when the next bit of official news is coming from Bethesda. Now, it was recently confirmed that Starfield would not be at the upcoming QuakeCon, so we don't have to really look forward to that event for news. But where does that leave us in terms of launch hype? Will we see another Starfield Direct deep dive closer to launch? Are we going to be getting gameplay previews or events from journalists or creators?
At least with this game, it looks like they have a lot of AI that you can talk to and get missions from, unlike Fallout 76 when it first launched, where it was literally just you were speaking to a computer and there was like barely any AI around.
My hope is that we get raw, uncut gameplay footage from the Xbox Series X and S and one on the PC. Maybe with Todd Howard actually playing the game, similar to how Nintendo did things with Eiji Aonuma playing Tears of the Kingdom before the game's launch. But until then, we will just have to wait until we get official word from Bethesda Game Studios. But yeah, guys, that's gonna wrap it up with this video. If you enjoyed my coverage of Starfield, do me a favor, leave a like, subscribe to the channel with your notifications turned on. Until next time, this has been Wes, and I'll talk to you guys in the next video.
Well, hopefully the game will be updated and optimized for PC. If you're not, unfortunately, on the AMD side of things, it sounds like it may not be in your favor, or if you don't have like multi-thread processing CPUs or GPUs, may be an issue. But like I said, Todd Howard obviously wants to put a lot of love in this game. This is like his dream game, as they said. So I don't think they're going to let us down with this one, like certain games we've seen in the past at launch. Fallout 76, I'm looking at you. So, I mean, my hopes are pretty high for this game. But all in all, we'll have to wait and see. If you guys like this video, make sure to leave a like, hit the sub if you're new to the channel. As always, leave comments down below. Let me know what your guys' thoughts are on this, and I'll see you on the next one. Thanks for watching. Hey guys, if you like the video, make sure you head over to the page, hit that like button, scroll over, smash that subscribe, and hit that bell icon to get notified for future video drops, and I will see you guys on the next one. Thanks for watching.